We see it absolutely everywhere. It's the shine on our kitchen faucets, the tough-as-nails steel in our tools. But the story of chromium? Well, it's about so much more than just polish and strength. It's an element of incredible beauty, immense power, and, as we're about to find out, some serious caution.
So get this, the very thing that gives a ruby its deep, fiery red color is just a tiny trace of chromium. You can think of it as an artist painting some of nature's most precious and beautiful gemstones.
But at the very same time, it's a warrior. Just add a little bit of chromium to iron, and bam, you've got stainless steel, the corrosion-resistant backbone of, well, almost everything. Modern construction, medicine, manufacturing, you name it.
So you have beauty and brawn, all wrapped up in one single element. So what is this stuff? How did we go from finding it in some colorful rock to producing millions and millions of tons of it every year?
Well, it all starts, pretty fittingly, with color. Back in the day, when the French chemist Nicolas Louis Vauquelin first isolated this new element, he was just blown away by the vibrant spectrum of its compounds. So he named it chromium, which comes from the Greek word chroma, and that literally just means color.
And people caught on fast. I mean, really fast. It's identified in 1797. By the early 1800s, it's already the go-to pigment for vivid paints. Just a few decades after that, it's completely revolutionizing the textile and leather industries. Helping dyes stick to fabric and making leather way more durable.
But its role as just a colorful additive, that was really just the beginning. Its next chapter would turn it into one of the most important industrial metals on the entire planet.
The real game changer, the thing that changed everything, was stainless steel. Suddenly, having the ability to create an alloy that just wouldn't rust, that turned chromium from a useful chemical into a strategic, absolutely indispensable resource for the modern world.
And that one discovery led to an absolute explosion in production. Just look at these numbers. Back in 1984, the world produced just under 10 million tons of chromite. That's the ore it comes from. Today, it's nearly 4 times that amount. This isn't just a little bit of growth. It's a sign of our total global dependency on this stuff.
Okay, so we've got this element that gives us incredible beauty and unbelievable strength that literally builds our world. It sounds almost perfect, right? But what if there's a catch? What if this wonder element has a hidden and much, much darker side?
This is where the story gets really, really interesting, because the answer isn't so simple. It all comes down to understanding that there isn't just one chromium. There are actually 2 very different versions of it.
So in chemistry, elements can exist in different oxidation states. The easiest way to think about it is like they have different chemical personalities. And for chromium, its 2 most common states are chromium-3 and chromium-6, and their personalities could not be more different.
All right, this right here is the crucial point. On one side, you've got chromium-3. It's totally natural, and it's an essential nutrient our bodies actually need to process sugars and fats. And here's the key. It has a really hard time getting inside our cells. Now, on the other side, you have chromium-6, also known as hexavalent chromium. This one is toxic. It's a known carcinogen. And it's mostly a byproduct of industrial stuff like chrome plating, pigment manufacturing, and leather tanning. And unlike its friendly counterpart, it can slip into our cells with no problem at all.
And it's that dangerous form, chromium-6, that really demands our attention, because once it gets inside the body, especially through the air we breathe, it becomes a major, major hazard.
And look, this isn't just speculation. As the US government's own toxicological profile for chromium states, plain and simple, when you inhale chromium compounds, your respiratory system is basically ground zero for the damage.
And that damage can be really severe. We're talking about everything from a chronic runny nose and nosebleeds to asthma to permanent perforation of the tissue inside your nose, and most seriously, a well-established, scientifically proven increased risk of lung cancer.
This chart, I know it looks complex, but it really drives home the scientific consensus here. You don't need to read every single data point. The key takeaway is that all those little triangles and circles, which represent observed health problems in humans, they start appearing even at very, very low concentrations. So this isn't just about massive industrial accidents. The evidence is clear that even sustained low-level exposure is a proven risk.
So where does all this leave us? Well, it's pretty clear we have a powerful tool on our hands, but it's one that requires an immense amount of respect and really careful handling.
So you see, the story of chromium isn't a simple case of good versus evil. It's not like chromium-3 is the hero and chromium-6 is the villain. It's a story of chemical complexity.
It's a perfect example of how the exact same element can be both a life-sustaining nutrient and a dangerous toxin, depending entirely on its chemical state.
And that right there is the crucial point. Chromium is a powerful reminder that the materials that build our modern world, the things we see and use every day without a second thought, are rarely simple. Understanding their true nature, both the brilliant side and the hazardous side, is really the first step to using them wisely. Makes you wonder, what other everyday materials have a hidden story to tell?